Hello, I'm Joshua Smith, the founder of FreshLook Bible, and in this video I'm going to tell you about a Bible reading plan that doesn't stink. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video when I'm going to tell you how you can win this dark mode Bible panorama of the book of Genesis that's behind me. Now, Bible reading plans, the majority of them stink for several reasons. The first reason is because they rely on chapter divisions. You see, chapter divisions cause confusion due to fragmentation, so you have these readings that seem disconnected because the chapter divisions in themselves are not inspired, and they're very helpful for reference, and I'm glad they're there to be able to find our place. But when it comes to delineating the flow of the text and the natural literary structure and outline of each book, they really do a disservice. In fact, with FreshLook Bible reading plan, we found that there were 167 of the 365 days of the year where the Bible reading plan did not start or stop at the beginning or end of a chapter, but somewhere in between the chapter division. And so if you're relying on the chapter divisions, the reading can seem disconnected. No wonder it's confusing. I mean, it would be like starting, at minute 24:37 of your series and then watching 6 minutes of it, and then going into the first 7 minutes of the next episode of the series. Things need to be connected into flow. And so most Bible reading plans are fragmented because of the chapter divisions. Also, when you rely on chapter divisions for a Bible reading plan, it can cause lopsided reading times. There's no rhyme or reason to the amount of words in a chapter. And so you could have a chapter that is 178 verses or a chapter that's 2 verses. And so if you're just going 3 or 5 chapters a day, it varies quite a bit. And so with FreshLook Bible, we really wanted to focus on, first of all, we spent a lot of time figuring out what the natural divisions and the natural structure, the natural flow of each book would be. I mean, you can see this panorama of Genesis behind me. We really painstakingly figured out what is the major sections of the book. The beginning, the generations of the heaven and the earth, the generations of Adam, the generations of Noah, the generations of the sons of Noah, the generations of Terah, of Isaac, etc., all the way through, trying to find out what is the major sections of a book, and then also how those minor sections fit together. And so oftentimes whenever you're breaking up the chapters, you can see, chapter 16 is right in the middle of a story. You'd really want to read chapter 15 and 16 together. There's a major division right in the middle of chapter 11. And so, as you go through, you find that there are many chapter divisions that just are in unfortunate places, and it causes for disconnected and fragmented reading. With the FreshLook Bible reading plan, not only have we tailored it to be specifically to the natural literary divisions of the text, so the reading starts and stops at appropriate points where it's connected, but also we've tried to focus on the amount of time it takes to read each section. So each day's reading has a word count, and we've tried to even that out as much as possible with still being faithful to the content and the context. So we know how many words, and based upon the average reading speed, how much time it should take the average person to read each section. So the FreshLook Bible reading plan doesn't stink because it doesn't rely on chapter divisions. Another reason that most Bible reading plans stink is because they don't account for genre. You see, the Bible's full of different literary genres, and so different books should be treated according to their unique structure and their literary style. For example, the book of Psalms is extremely different than any other book of the Bible. It's a song book, it's a hymnal. And as a hymnal, every single song is its own unique unit, and it should be treated in a different way. With Psalms, instead of having it all in one chunk in your Bible reading that covers 50 straight days or so of Psalms only, we have spread out the Psalms where it's one at a time every other day or so. That way those 150 Psalms are spread out throughout the year. Then the other thing that oftentimes Bible reading plans overlook is especially Proverbs when it comes to genre. See, Proverbs is also a very specific book. There is the first section in Proverbs that are units of thought. There's these 11 lessons, and so those flow together, and you would want to keep those in a reading, together as a unit. But when you get to chapter 10, Each proverb is a standalone proverb. So each of those stand alone, and as a proverb, they're really a short, pithy statement that ought to be considered and chewed on a little bit. We ought to meditate on those proverbs. And honestly, when you get to a chapter 10, 11, 13, all the way through here, these sections, it's extremely dense. Really what we need is read 3 or 4 of those at a time. So there's the main reading, we'll start in Genesis and go through the canon all the way through Revelation, but Psalms is taken out of that and spread out, and then Proverbs is taken out from that canonical reading and spread out throughout the year. So this just allows it to where you can slow down your Proverbs reading and you can focus in on what those few Proverbs are saying a day. So with FreshLook Bible reading plan, we've accounted for the genre of Psalms and Proverbs, but also all the other genres. And so we've weighted the reading time and the reading portions according to the genre that it is. You can read more of a story in a narrative book like Genesis. You can read a lot more and retain that than you can in an epistle. You might have an epistle of Paul. He might go on for 15 or 19 verses straight where it's one sentence and you're trying to follow a theological train of thought. And honestly, it's a lot easier to take in a story than it is to take in an epistle. We've tried to weight the reading portions according to the different genres of the Bible. And that's another reason that the FreshLook Bible reading plan doesn't stink. Another reason that many Bible reading plans stink is because they're too rigid. It starts on January 1st and it ends on December 31st, and you have to check every box or else you're in trouble. So one of the things that we've done with the new interactive FreshLook Bible reading plan is make it to where it's not rigidly locked into a date. You can start any day of the year and finish any day of the year. Now, it'll give you 365 portions. If you want to read the Bible in 6 months, you can just read 2 portions a day and you'll get there. It always has a projected end date for the Bible reading plan. That way you can adjust your pace according to what you're trying to do. And it's no big deal if you have to skip a day. It's not locked in, so that you can have that flexibility to deal with life as it comes. Another reason that most Bible reading plans stink is because they're not using the visually optimized text. You see, it's hard to read the text when it's formatted like an encyclopedia or a dictionary. Most of us don't sit down and read large portions of dictionaries and encyclopedias, and a large reason for that is the formatting itself. And so with FreshLook Bible, we have visually optimized the text. We've gone through every book and every passage and thought, what should it look like according to its content in its context? I would love to show you more examples of how the genealogies and the lists and the poetry and the dialogue and the letters and all those things are formatted with such great detail. But I can tell you this, people read a whole lot more and they read in less time with greater comprehension whenever they're using the visually optimized text. So you can have the reading plan, which has the right sections in it, and it's very helpful. But to get the most out of this reading plan, you really need to be using the FreshLook Bible text. The good news is it's very easy to get started with the FreshLook Bible reading plan and also the FreshLook Bible text. You see, we've got the text available in multiple formats now. We've got it available in physical printed book form like these. This is the full set of 29 books that make up the whole Bible. You can also buy the books individually like this, Genesis, Exodus, etc. You can also get it digitally. So we've got it both in book form, digital book, an interactive PDF, and then also the interactive digital panorama, and then the physical printed panoramas like you see behind me, the book of Genesis here. We've got those in dark mode and light mode. If you're a Bible teacher or preacher, you preach through books, teach through books, these are essential. Don't start your next sermon series without getting a Bible panorama. You really want to see how the whole book fits together and how to teach it and preach it. These will be so helpful to you. So let me help you get started using the FreshLook Bible Interactive Reading Plan web app. And then in a moment, I'm going to tell you how you can win this FreshLook Bible panorama of Genesis in dark mode. So you go to freshlookbible.com, then you find the Bible reading plan page. Then you will go ahead and subscribe to either the monthly or the yearly plan. Remember, the first month on the monthly plan is free. Once you subscribe, then you should receive an email in less than 24 hours that will allow you to go ahead and go to the login page. And once you're logged in, then you can see your personalized Bible reading page. If you're on a desktop interface, then today's reading is already pulled up for you in a PDF viewer on screen that you can just scroll down through. and read it that way. If you're on a tablet, then you would click on today's reading and it opens the PDF in your browser, or you can save that and view it in a different PDF reader of your choice. Same thing with a phone. You click today's reading. On a phone, you can read it vertical, but maybe you might prefer to put it in a horizontal scroll mode and read it that way. To get back, you just swipe back or click the back button and you're back there. The most fun part is clicking that you're done, and you get a little message that pops up that you have completed today's reading. One of the cool things is if you switch to light mode, then it automatically pulls that up on the PDF viewer. And of course, when you click the button for today's reading, then it is already pulled up in light mode. So as you click through, it's going to give you your progress. So there's a progress bar that is always updating according to how much you've read. So by the time you've read 7 days in here, you're 1.9% done, and it gives you a projected end date. So hopefully at this point you are convinced that the FreshLook Bible reading plan is the best reading plan ever, and you're ready to go ahead and subscribe. But maybe some of you are hanging on to the end of the video because you want to win this book of Genesis. This book is $300 normally, but I'm going to give it to a special winner for free. How do you get it? How does that work? Well, first we've got to hit 1,000 subscribers for the channel, okay? So you've got to subscribe and you've got to comment. We will choose a winner at random once we've hit 1,000 subscribers. If you are in the United States, the shipping will be included. If you're outside of the US, then you will have to pay for the shipping, but the Panorama itself would be covered completely free. So you got to subscribe. You've got to tell your friends, get them to subscribe because we need 1,000 subscribers, and you've got to comment on the video. It'll be announced in the next video after we hit 1,000 subscribers.